Hey guys, welcome to Battle of the Ninja, Silver Mask Ninja versus real life ninja Frank Dux. Actually, I don't know which one's more real. Silver Mask Ninja might be more real. But anyway, that's the topic for another video. But in this video, a fight, a challenge, a competition has been proposed. Let me preface this with a couple of things. So there are three guys I talk about in this video: martial artist and stuntman Steven Lambert, aka Silver Ninja, who I actually know and have had on the channel in the past and plan to have him again on in the future. Now, I specifically didn't want to get his involvement in this video because I wanted to remain as neutral as I could when I talk about the other guy, the second guy in the video, Frank Dux. To inspire the martial arts classic Bloodsport, I know a lot of you guys have thoughts about him and his claims, which I'll discuss and give you my the glass is half full point of view on in order to balance out the other side of the argument, the glass is half empty. Wanted to discuss Dux in the way that the third person I talk about in this video, Don the Dragon Wilson, sees him. As far as Don the Dragon Wilson goes, I have nothing but respect for him and his accomplishments in the world of martial arts. Alright, so now we got that out of the way. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. So this is interesting. Somebody brought this to my attention on Facebook. It's a reply to a post that Don the Dragon Wilson initially made. Well, actually, Frank Dux made a post. Don the Dragon Wilson replied to it, and then Steven Lambert replied to that. Speaking about Steven Lambert, by the way, make sure to check out his book, From the Streets of Brooklyn to the Halls of Hollywood, where he's got over 100 stories from his times in the movie world. I mean, he's worked on films with Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Stallone, Arnold, and a whole lot more. Anyway, I'll link it in the description below if you want to pick it up from Amazon. This thing's literally like the size of a phone book. It'll keep you busy for a long time. Since they don't have phone books anymore, they should use this thing for like one of those strongman competitions where people try to rip the phone book in half. I don't think anyone's ripping this in half, by the way. Anyway, Steven Lambert is the fight coordinator on the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic, The Quest, which he talks about in the book and also in some of my videos. And this whole thing is actually directly related to today's video. So without further ado, let's get to it. One day, Lambert was invited to a lunch with several other industry guys, and Frank Dux happened to be there. Not knowing who Lambert was or the work he did on The Quest, Frank Dux apparently tried to take credit for choreographing the fights in that film. I made a video about this titled, The Time Frank Dux Had a Run-In with the Actual Fight Coordinator on The Quest, which I'll link in the description below. Anyway, over the last couple of months, Don the Dragon Wilson has been making posts about Frank Dux on Facebook. From what I can tell, in a subtle effort to expose Dux as a fraud, so Don doesn't go right out and blatantly call Dux a fraud, rather he posts Dux's claims, most likely figuring anyone with common sense will think about them and wonder if they actually make sense or not. Popular YouTuber Ramsey Dewey covered this in a video titled, Frank Dux versus Don the Dragon Wilson, so this just happened. Ramsey describes this video as, recently a bit of a martial arts feud surfaced on Facebook between Don the Dragon Wilson and Frank Dux. It all started when Don Wilson posted a list of Frank Dux's alleged world records and accomplishments, including his famous claims of fighting in the Kumite, which inspired the 1989 Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Bloodsport.
Oh, that's real. I think so too.
If you guys don't know, by the way, Don the Dragon Wilson has a really impressive, legitimate background in the world of fighting from 1974 to 2002, all of which is well documented and can be backed up with video, etc.
Entered into the 2002 Guinness Book of World Records for most world kickboxing titles at 11.
Which he then parlayed into a successful martial arts and movie career, albeit in the world of straight-to-video films. Now, Don the Dragon Wilson is deeply involved in the world of martial arts, and if I had to guess, I'd say he has a problem with people like Frank Dux because he sees him as a type that negatively impacts this world, because the more ridiculous claims people make in general, like those masters of no-touch martial arts, for example, people start calling bullshido, which is a play on Bushido, on a lot of this stuff related to martial arts, and people start making a mockery on that part of the martial arts world, which could then spill over into the legitimate part of the martial arts world and have people question individuals involved in this world who have legitimate backgrounds and records that can be verified, such as Don Wilson himself. So in general, you really don't want to have a negative connotation associated with martial arts because it's like that saying goes, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. But anyway, I bring this up because on April 3rd, 2021, Don made a Facebook post where he said, "This is Frank Dux' response to my post detailing his world records, which I simply cut and pasted on my Facebook page with really no commentary on its truth or validity. He asked that I verify my titles with the PKA, an association in which I was the #1 contender for Bill Superfoot Wallace's middleweight world title, but never fought for or won. He is ignorant of my 28-year history of being a pro kickboxer. My advice to Frank, don't throw rocks at others when you live in a glass house." So Frank Dux' original post, by the way, that Don replied to was, "Where is the PKA to verify your record, Don? At least the remnants of IFAA and the Black Dragons publicly verify my record. An organization you were denied entry to and decades later where rules of entry were abandoned, allowing people like Goldberg entry and shortly thereafter asked to leave. Who is starting up this role-playing the Black Dragon Legion thing? Goldberg and your crowd of posers. I feel embarrassed for him and you. For everyone's benefit, since I'm being described as cowering, I private messaged Don Wilson this. Gee, Don, I saw how you posted my titles and records and then let your jealous, insecure side of you come out. I feel so sorry for you, Don, that you must feel so threatened by me. Guess things must not be going your way. I say that because happy, secure people don't stop to gossiping, trade libel, or what God calls the evil tongue. I find no satisfaction in having watched you sabotage your career and not make it into the A-list films because casting directors are scared to hire you because of this wicked, cowardly side of you. You certainly have the right to think what you think, and I have no right to control what you say. But words coming out of your mouth, that doesn't make it the truth, does it? Real masterful behavior here on your part. Fine example for children to follow. No wonder the world is degrading and the absence of strong men and characters is becoming a thing of the past." Steven Lambert replied to Don's post, by the way, which is the focus of this video. So Steven Lambert said, "Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Let's start with Frank Dux, the liar. You should be ashamed of yourself, Mr. Frank Dux, but we know you are not. One of the closest families in the world is a martial arts family, and you should know you don't mess with the family. May I say in the movie world, stunt world, and fight world, there is one thing you don't do. It's claim you did something when you did not. This is a huge no-no. We work so hard, and it's the only thing we have to leave our family and friends when we are gone. So I will tell you what we can do. With all my medical problems I have today, I will still challenge you to a fight. Yes, a fight. Not a real fight for your sake, because if we did, I might rip your ears off and put them in your mouth so you can hear yourself lie, or maybe rip your lips off and put them in your ears so you can hear yourself lie. How about a movie fight? You claim you are a fight coordinator, which you are not in my book. Let's do it, Mr. Frank Dux. Get two people and put together with yourself a 20-move picture fight, and I will do the same. We will get 5 judges. Maybe we can ask great martial arts fighters like Don Wilson, Chuck Norris, Keith Vitale, Ben Nikitas, and we could even have a bad one as a 5th, like you. You can be a judge, and I will still kick your ass, leave you in the dust. You have no idea what a fight coordinator does or is. You have a credit in a movie or two, but that doesn't make you a fight coordinator. I'm sure without me being there in the movie you did myself, not being there, that you had help. You were not the man who was putting it together. You do not have the intelligence, Frank Dux. You are what we call in the movie business a wannabe. Nothing more. How about it, lying Frank Dux? Please let me know. Yours truly, Steven Lambert. Everyone stay safe and healthy, everyone. Lambo out. And he leaves on such a positive note. I like that.
But I like that. I like that.
That is certainly an interesting challenge. Hell, I want to be one of the judges if they put it together. If not an official judge, I'll definitely cover it on my channel anyway. But let's look at what credits each man, Frank Dux and Steven Lambert, has as far as fight choreography goes. We'll start with Frank Dux. Bloodsport, Van Damme classic. Lionheart, another Van Damme classic. And Only the Strong. With Mark Dacascos, I'd call it a 90s martial arts classic. These are all Sheldon Lettich directed films, by the way. Sheldon Lettich, of course, wrote Bloodsport based on Frank Dux' story. So for Only the Strong, the main villain in the film, played by Paco Prieta, is listed as the assistant fight choreographer. It's really hard to say how much involvement he had in the film fights versus Frank Dux, but overall, I do like those fight scenes, and that film in general is a classic. As far as Bloodsport and Lionheart goes, Van Damme was magnificent, and both those movies were a classic Van Damme showcase. Similar to what he would also do in that era with Kickboxer, Death Warrant, and Double Impact, to name a few. So the question is, how much involvement did Van Damme have in the fight choreography? It's the chicken or the egg. Did Frank Dux inspire the classic Van Damme type fighting that Van Damme would continue to do in several films outside of Dux' involvement? Or was Van Damme leading the charge the entire time from day one, with Dux getting overall credit for the fight choreography and minimum at least creating all the non-Van Damme fights in those films? One common complaint that a lot of people have in that era of Van Damme films, by the way, is that the choreography is basic, and Van Damme just does the same 4 or so kicks all the time. I'll say this, it's the classic less is more. I actually kind of prefer that in a Van Damme film. What really makes it so impactful is the way it's presented, though, which Van Damme definitely played a part in as far as film editing goes, with the slow motion, different camera angles, etc. Overall, I love those fights, but I can acknowledge the common complaint. I will say this, despite any claims Frank Dux has made, despite how much involvement he's had in the fight choreography on Bloodsport, Lionheart, or Only the Strong, we gotta give him credit for the mere fact that if it wasn't for him and either his experience, exaggerated experience, and or imagination, a movie like Bloodsport wouldn't even exist, and that would be a real shame. This movie was such a game changer. It launched Van Damme as the next big martial arts movie star, which he would then inspire millions of people to take up martial arts, myself included. It inspired one of the greatest fighting games of all time, Mortal Kombat, which then inspired several movies, including a reboot that came out in 2021. Talk about going full circle. It helped plant the seed for mixed martial arts competition, which is now a billion-dollar industry with the UFC. So at the very least, there is quite a positive contribution that Frank Dux has made in the world of martial arts if we look at the glasses half full side of things. Now, as far as Steven Lambert goes, for fight choreography, he's best known for The Quest, which the interesting thing is, he made a concerted effort to push Van Damme beyond the typical style of fighting Van Damme has done in films and convinced him to try something new with the thought that the audience is getting sick of seeing the same thing all the time. Let's mix it up.
I don't want to tell you how to run your show.
No, of course not.
Really. It's enough with the bar already. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, have they thought about changing the setting?
Doubt it. I doubt it, yeah.
Really? Because people do meet in places besides a bar.
Well, yeah, they do.
Overall, I'd say the non-Van Damme fights in The Quest are quite a bit better than the non-Van Damme fights in Bloodsport, but as far as Van Damme fights go, that's definitely up for debate. I grew up with Bloodsport, watching those fights against Pumalo, Paco, Bolo, and more, way too many times to count. And I'll always have a love and admitted bias for those above everything else. Now, with that said, I've heard a lot of people actually like his fights in The Quest more. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. But outside of The Quest, Lambert did the sword fight choreography in Blind Fury with Sho Kosugi and Rutger Hauer, which was pretty spectacular. In addition to that, it's hard to say how much actual fight choreography Lambert has done, though, since he's primarily a stunt coordinator and stuntman. But the types of films he's worked on, like Revenge of the Ninja, for example, where he not only doubled for Sho Kosugi, but ended up playing the part of the Silver Mask Ninja and was involved in a lot of the actual fighting in that film as a whole, it's a safe bet that Steven Lambert had a lot of involvement in fight choreography in general through his decades of work in the film industry. Probably a lot more than what you would read on IMDb, because he's generally listed as a stunt coordinator or as a stunt double, etc. But anyway, what do you guys think? Would you like to see Frank Dux and Steven Lambert each choreograph a fight scene and then have it all judged to see who's a better fight choreographer? I'd personally love to see this. I think overall it'd be a positive thing, and who knows, maybe after all that competition's over, all those guys could even be inspired to put their differences aside and create a new film together that brings back the magic of the 90s.
What do you think about that? Anything is possible.
Yes, Viking Samurai is ever the optimist, trying to make the 80s and 90s great again.